Now that Vice President Kamala Harris is definitely going to be the Democratic nominee for president, let's take a close look at why this is exactly what Donald Trump and his team were most afraid of. I want to quickly give you 3 solid reasons, backed up by reporting and evidence, why Trump should be and probably is absolutely sweating bullets about this right now. Number 1 is the obvious. Donald Trump and his campaign managers know that they have a terrible product that they're trying to sell. If you put them on truth serum, they would admit that having an incoherent, insurrectionist, misogynist 34-count felon who rants about sharks.
What would happen if the boat sank and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there? Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? I think it's a good question.
Might put them at a small disadvantage. They even said on the record that they thought Democrats had a ton of advantages in this election and that their only hope was to try to get voters to equate all of that insanity with Joe Biden's age. Of course, the only flaw in that plan would be if they didn't have Biden to kick around anymore, and that's why they were praying, or whatever weird rituals they get up to, that they would still get to run against Biden. So much for that. Number 2. Kamala Harris totally changes the map and puts Democrats on offense in a really critical way.
Look among black voters. She's doing 8 points better than Joe Biden. How about Hispanic voters? She's doing 6 points better among Hispanic voters. It looks like she is fulfilling what a lot of Democrats were hoping, that is bringing back together that Democratic base, that diverse Democratic base that Joe Biden seemed to be lacking in, at least this time around. Where could this be important? Where are Hispanic voters and black voters a large portion of the population in those key swing states? Well, it's in the Sun Belt, right? Let's look among black voters, right? In North Carolina, they make up 21% of the vote. How about in Georgia? 34%. Of course, the Hispanic vote, very important in the Southwest, right? Nationally, Hispanic voters only make up 10% of all voters. But look in Arizona, 21%, Nevada, 19%. They believe that they can put Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada back into play. Let's say that she loses in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, but she can still win. She can still get to 275 by winning in Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and of course, North Carolina. So basically, she's providing more paths for herself.
I love Joe Biden, and I think he's an American hero for saving us, first in 2020, and now by sacrificing his own interests for the good of the country. So this is no slight on Biden. These are just the numbers, and what they tell us is that Trump suddenly has huge problems. Number 3. From Trump's standpoint, this might start to feel like this is the high point, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse. That's because the first major poll out since Harris became the de facto nominee shows the race in a statistical tie. But only 8% of Americans said they weren't sure how they felt about Donald Trump. What the heck have you been doing? Like, seriously, people, for 9 years now, what have you been paying attention to? But 15% say they're unsure about Kamala Harris. This is what pollsters like to refer to as room to grow. Just look at how steady Americans' opinions have been on Donald Trump. He's one of the most known and hated quantities in America and the world. And for the people who haven't been paying attention, most of the information that's still out there about Trump is horrible. About half of voters were still unaware that Donald Trump had ever been indicted for crimes as of this spring. That's why Trump has hit his ceiling and Harris has room to grow. Put it all together. A Democratic base that's gone from telling pollsters they were unsure they would vote for Joe Biden to totally consolidating around Kamala Harris. A Trump playbook that's in the toilet or stored in the bathroom along with classified documents. Huge demographic advantages, swing voters, putting new paths to victory in play, and room for Kamala Harris to grow. That is why whatever he says, Donald Trump is so fearful about the 2024 election now.